and he gets pushed back after the headshot to MSL. AK on AZ, bomb thrown over, and just like this, North seem to have found an opening.
Fake plant even. They don't want a single man without a weapon in his hands, and Valdi shows us why. Finishes it off with a headshot to Adren, and North will take it. Picking up the force buy in that second round. Gambit, similarly to Train, looking like they're about to take the pistol with the
Vardı bizim.
And North have bounced back early on. Although there's a trap to be sprung here. Hobbit will reel his way back into the corner here. Do they expect him to have left? Because he is still standing, but his teammate on B, not so much.
They're just trying to make him force the fight. They don't want to run into a deal and get mown down. They make Hobbit be the initiator. And while he is dropping Mertz in the tunnel, it's a small consolation here for Gambit, who already have to fall back and hold on to these guns with the armor. North have taken the next round. They haven't allowed Gambit to come back in with a reset, which will push the CTs to USPs, sorry. Maybe CZs, maybe some slight investment. But for now, North are just looking to hunt down these final kills, remove any real pressure from that next round by these armored players. But Adren with a Deagle, of course, going to win that duel. Kierby dead in a reposition. These are the final save spots here for Gambit, and I don't think North want to challenge too much more.
No, definitely not. They'd love to stabilize at this point. This is an opening.
Oh. Not bad. And that gives a gun over. It's a big risk. Not only do you need 3 players alive to actually make a profit on your money, but also 3 rifles. Yeah, okay, the UMP start to chase and you lose them. That's one thing. It's not like Gambit care about picking up a couple of UMPs. You're giving an M4 now to Gambit. An opportunity for them to do damage, and again, maybe even win the round. We've seen it happen before. 2 armored players, Adren on that M4, but North with the full buy. This should surely be theirs.
Mertz not being given any targets after the initial cross. Never gonna win that duel with these kinds of weapons. Would take a devilish deagle, but just too much to ask. They will still move their players back. And what's interesting here is that Mertz gives up the hold on mid because he wants to take this A site, and because of that, North never spotted Gambit actually double back towards A, so they might still anticipate lesser numbers. Although if you dwindle down the numbers yourself, then you're not going to have a problem. 4v2 and the gun of Gambit is down.
Ooh, pincer play though. Mo going to get caught by Mertz. The players up on shore not exposing their head to that of the CT spawn, keeping close to the wall. And this is as close as it comes. 10-9 now, North back in the favor. It's been a long time coming here for the Danish side, but they do have the lead under control for now. Gambit coming back with a big buy of their own though. M4's fully across the board, but with no AWP, we're watching this AWP in middle for Mertz to see if he can find the damage. He looks for it, but no one spotted on the cross. Unsure as to whether he would get close peeks. You don't want to go for that door cross shot if you may suspect they have an AWP, because as soon as you shoot, Gambit can just go for a quick peek and take that trade. And Connor, we're in a similar situation to that of Train. The score is equal. Gambit have gone for the risk buy with not a lot of utility, no AWP, no kits, nothing. If this starts to get away from North, I imagine, once again, as of Train, we won't see Gambit go for these risky kind of buys. But of course, it is the first of the half. This is what you expect, really.
Yeah, they don't need to lose all of their profits. But Mertz patiently waiting on the edge of the smoke there punishes Adren's attempt at a retreat. There's still the CT boosted up on the boxes inside the spawn, seized. Lies in wait. Right now, bomb starting to move over towards the B site, and there's literally no defense there. The closest player sits outside on the scaffolding, and this could easily translate into a save round. If you lose this B bomb site, you don't have any grenades to retake, you don't even have a kit, you need these weapons to contest the next. We're talking the B bomb site of Dust 2. It doesn't get much harder to take that aback. But with Hobbit now having his attention towards B because Seized wins the duel in mid, that could have been a chance.
They were all flashed within the site as well. Hobbit goes for that peek, but just peeks a second too early and gets blinded. Assuming he peeks later, he maybe get a kill or two. He may be able to contest the round, but because of that flash timing just setting him off guard, it's North's round. They go forward with 4 players surviving. Gambit know they need to save the guns because they've only got 2,900 loss bonus. And it's an awkward flashbang that loses Gambit an entire round, especially after they lock down that mid player. Sees getting the kill to the split from MSL. Could have been an opportunity.
That is one of the pieces of this puzzle. Again, Gambit's an unknown quantity on Dust 2, and they showed us a great first half, but now it's turning it around to the CT side, right? If we look at, say Imperial on Dust 2 versus North, yeah, sure, they did great on T as well, but they just got dismantled once the sides were swapped. Gambit starting to feel the wrath of the Danes. Still, though, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. It was an upset second round, and now this being one of the first few guns. We will give them time, but here it is, right? Mert's finding impact on the T side of Dust 2. This is a big piece for him.
Not connecting for now, though. With Gambit still giving up this round in sense of an eco, Seized is going to try and force kills because he knows that they're going to be buying up next round regardless. Valde already dead in the tunnel, and a pick found for Gambit, but they give up the A site in the meantime. No long control at all. Mo in a good spot, assuming they don't Molotov this position out just out of fear. The Dozier certainly will be. Forced back by the flames as Mo waits for the contact. They spam towards his box. It's not an open plant towards short. It's a position they already contain. It is long, but MSL will be contained within the ramp before Mo takes him down. And now the 5-on-3 retake in for Gambit. They could do this, Connor.
Nice spray control from Mo. He clears the head of AZ, but Mertz is still alive. Bomb planted for him. There is 1 smoke left for Seized. He needs to get it into position. And there you go. This could spell disaster. You even have Mertz extending himself upwards, so now it all falls onto Kierby. And with an M4A1S, he just doesn't have enough in the tank. Barely. With another defuse this time on the A site, Gambit will win on the retake.
But while that's awkward, of course, that was a round where Gambit still only had 2 pistols in play, and one of them without even armor on the USP. You got to look at the positives for North, and that is the fact that after a 4-round streak, they built up a hell of a lot of money. Gambit have found 1, which means North can come back in with a reset, put Gambit back down to a terrible economy, and so late in the game, if that were to happen, if North were to win this round, we could see them just steamroll their way to the end of the match, or at least the map. MSL, look at this contact, though, just running in through middle. They have no idea. Not a single spot coming through. Eventually, Valde's sighted up from the CT spawn, so the CT's going to be aware. But Adren's dead, and Hobbit follows up. It's the B site caved open once again. And then a 5-on-3 off that fast, Connor. Gambit can't even consider this round.
No, that's a good identification by MSL there to see that mid had been open. When you have 2 players constantly crossing on the jump, what you tend to have is a lackluster mid-hold early on. Generally because what you're doing is trying to set up players towards long A on Dust, right? That tends to be one of the first few pieces of a CT setup. But if you have that additional 3rd player not on A bomb site, but over towards mid, you can generally stop these sorts of situations. When that man is absent, Hugo, you see what happens. They parade valiantly up through middle, hitting the B-bomb site. Despite it being spotted, they had it already pinched in from tons, right? That was the plan from the get-go, and North execute it to a T.
And while they do win the round, luckily enough, Gambit saved 3 guns. So it's the reset, but Gambit's still able to buy up, obviously, because of those weapons brought forward. So it's not the end of the world. However, certainly an awkward spot for this CIS team. As guns are shuffled over, we actually have the double AWP in play here now for Gambit on Adren and Mo. Interesting to see Hobbit moving off of that secondary AWP. We typically see him taking it as well a lot, but Adren, this entire best of 3 has just been on that AWP over him. Mo looking for the mid shot, already feigned across with the smoke, and now does he realize the angle? It's a yes, but he's not going to hit the shot. Mertz given a second chance at life there, back in on the repeat, and North setting up early for a default with top mid on lock, tunnels disallowing aggression from Gambit, and mid under their control.
Man, I mean, Mo, he's safe the first time, right? You can tell that he respects the capabilities of Mertz because when the smoke is still there, he flashes over after missing his first shot, repositions entirely, tries to play a patient angle. And that is bewildering to me that after playing it so safely, once the smoke fades, he just jumps across. Like, Mertz is going to hit you, and certainly he does. So the AWP now a liability for Gambit, one of two, of course, but he's been repositioned over towards long, where North have lackluster presence. It is catwalk they'll emphasize here. Bomb in tow, leaving a player to anchor towards middle. And now if the smoke's gone, this will be their chance to try and get Mertz into position. He wants to crack open this bomb site.
Still Gambit cycle utility. Still they hold them back. But that's starting to run dry with only flashbangs and an HE on a Dren. This is where the push can come through. North knows it. They're going to go for the commitment. Drop to the CT spawn. Mo spots it, but he's going to get shot from above. Flash from C's gives away his position.